What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be RuPaul's Drag Race Vegas review. This is episode 4. So, listen, I think that I'm going to probably not go in the direction that y'all think I'm going to go with this particular episode, but let's get to it. So, we started off with, they had the situation that Asia left where Derek Barry decided to put his 2 cents in a situation that they had shit to do with him. And Asia left the little sleepover that they were having. So the next morning, Asia comes into work, and Asia moves all her shit out of the dressing room and is going to go to the little area where they have like the little quick change. And Naomi comes in there, and Naomi, I feel like the first thing out of Naomi's mouth should have been, I'm really sorry that Derek brought up something I said to him in confidence in that way. I do feel the way that I feel, but I'm sorry that it came out the way that it came out. Can we talk about it? But instead, Naomi walks in there as if he don't understand why Asia has an attitude and why Asia's pissed off and why Asia's moving his shit out the dressing room. Because basically the night before, Derek Barry said that you don't enjoy being in the dressing room and that you get dressed at home, you do your makeup at home because you don't want to be in the dressing room with him. So his thing is, fine, then I will remove myself from the equation. And listen, I'm going to be honest with y'all. In this situation, Asia is me and I am Asia. That is me. That is me. I would have done the exact same thing. And here's the other thing, ladies, gentlemen, sorry. Here's the other thing. You don't get to piss somebody off and disrespect them, and then they're supposed to get over it when you're ready for them to be over it. So Naomi walks in there with this attitude like, okay, things got a little heated last night, but we good, right? And Asia was like, no, like, I'm hurt. And I really wish that, this was something that I didn't realize that I was making your work life so uncomfortable and making it so bad for you. And Naomi was like, well, I mean, you can't admit that you're just a little intense. And he was like, no, that's just who I am. And Naomi's thing is, well, when someone tells me something about my behavior that I don't like, then I try to work on it. But that's not Asia's reaction. But here's the thing. Asia doesn't see what Asia's doing. And so what the best thing to do would be, like, listen, this is what's going on, and this is how it makes me feel. But that's not what you did. And now you mad at Asia because she's reacting to the way it was presented, which was basically Derek Barry embarrassing him in front of a whole group of people on something that really was a private conversation between you and him. He has every right to be pissed off. And I would have, listen, I promise y'all I would have done the same thing. I would have packed my shit so fast. If I had to rent a room in that hotel to get dressed every night, that's what I would have done. I promise you that's what I would have done. And then Derek Barry goes downstairs to talk because, of course, Derek, you started the whole damn thing. And Vanjie told Derek, you need to go down there and talk because all this is your fault. So he goes down there to talk to Asia. And when I say Asia would not acknowledge his presence, now, I probably would have said to Derek, I don't feel like talking right now. And I would have left it at that. Now, Asia ain't do that. Asia just was like, I'm not speaking. I don't have nothing to say, period. She was acting like you are not here. I don't see you. I don't hear you. You don't exist. Now, I probably wouldn't have been that brutal about it. But honestly, I wouldn't have had nothing to say to Derek either. Because once again, you inserted yourself in a situation that was not your business. And if you weren't coming to me to say, you know what, Asia, I'm sorry. I overstepped last night. I did too much. Like, I feel like if Derek had said that to Asia, I feel like if Naomi had came it that way, then maybe that conversation would have gone a different way. But because both of them acted like Asia was wrong and Asia didn't have a right to feel the way that he felt, I think that made it even worse. Because again, I want to know if Asia is a Cancer. Because when I tell you that is me, and when I tell you that I will hold a grudge and I will dig my heels in, even beyond the point of it being ridiculous, I ain't gonna lie, I must admit, I will do it. I will do it. And I have done it. I promise you I have done it, okay? I have been on road trips with people. I remember being on a road trip from D.C. to Greensboro, North Carolina. We were on our way down for A&T's homecoming, and somebody that I was in the car with pissed me off, and this was before the days of, Kindles and stuff, but I had me a good old novel. I promise you, I read that book. I didn't say a word to nobody all the way down. That was a 5-hour trip. I didn't say shit. conversations was going on all around me. People was laughing and joking, having a good time. I didn't say a word. So I know how that is. I'm not saying it's the most healthy way to handle things, but I definitely understand. And I would have done, I promise you that's how I would have acted in that situation. And especially when they came in the next day acting like Asia was wrong. You know, and Asia, I think, was more hurt than anything else because Asia felt like she had a different rapport with Naomi. I think Derek is Derek, and I don't think Asia expected anything more from Derek. But I do think Asia expected more from Naomi, and the fact that Naomi went to Derek about whatever Naomi was having an issue with and didn't come to Asia about it, I think hurt even more. Um, Cameron wasn't there, so poor Cameron walks in blind, like, well, what happened last night? Damn, what I missed? And Cameron said, well, Asia did text her about something, but it didn't really get into details and stuff like that. So we're going to come back to that. Let's talk about Cameron for a minute. Now, Cameron's boyfriend, Andre, came into town now. Cameron has been talking about Andre since the first episode, since before when he was still in LA packing up to go to Vegas, honey. And they have this long distance relationship. They met at DragCon. He was a fan that met and they, hit it off and everything. And, excuse me, Andre is, I can't remember what Andre does, but, he has a decent career in New York from my understanding. I'm going to be honest with y'all. As soon as Andre got in the car, I said his energy is off. His energy is off a little bit. And every time Cameron says something about planning an outing, when is the next time we're going to see each other? Are you going to fly down here to Vegas to see me? Every time Cameron tried to get something committed out of him, he said, yeah, well, we'll talk about that later. Well, yeah, we can talk about that later. And so, of course, Cameron is taking him all around Vegas, and they end up going to the Eiffel Tower. If you've ever been to Vegas, Paris, and they have the whole mock Eiffel Tower that you can go up to the top of. And damn if that boy did not break up with Cameron on the top of the Eiffel Tower. I said, that is the same place people get engaged, and you are breaking up with that man. And poor Cameron was so hurt. I mean, so hurt. And didn't really see it coming, which, hell, I saw it, but I didn't see it. And the only reason why I say I saw it is because I saw it coming once he got in the car and I felt his energy. I didn't see it coming prior to that. You know what I'm saying? Once again, Evie Oddly is working on another project, working on a rap album. So Evie is taking this time. I feel like they had a couple of days off because Evie filmed a music video. Cameron was entertaining his boyfriend. So I feel like they had a couple of days off right now. So, she filmed the whole music video in the casino and everything. So, and again, like I said, I think that's probably the video that I've seen because I know that single was released. And she had some other queens in there. But I feel like that might have been it. But don't quote me on that. But either way, so Evie's working on that project. I'm not sure if it's complete yet, but I do know at least one single from it has been released. Okay. So Naomi decides to have everybody over, everybody except for Asia, I guess, to talk about the situation and to try to figure out how to fix it. Now, Naomi is a true diva. I've just come to the conclusion that Naomi is a true diva, and she's a little bit of a snob. So the apartments that RuPaul, the production company, put everybody up in wasn't good enough for her, honey. So she went and she found herself her own spot, and it looks like she is renting like a whole 2-car garage house somewhere. But you know what? If she got the money to do it and that is her business, listen. But she said that she saw those apartments and was like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me. And she said that she is trying to feel like she is at home, away from home. So it might be a good old Airbnb that she's renting, honey. I don't know. But you know what? You like it, I love it. That's how you want to spend your money. Go for it, boo. So, they get to talking about what happened with Asia, whatever. And Cameron is defending Asia. And Cameron is like, but do you really, she's talking to Derek and saying basically, one, do you really feel like that was your place to say anything? And two, do you feel like that was the best way of expressing yourself? Like, do you feel like it was said in the best way? And even Vanjie was like, we went from sucking toes and kissing to, so why you say that, I was the weakest link, And again, the way in which it happened was really what the big issue was. Like, is that a conversation that Naomi needed to have with Asia? Absolutely. It was just the way in which it happened. And so Cameron, when I say Cameron, it's like going balls to the wall defending Asia to the point where Derek and Cameron start getting into it, and Vanjie has to separate the two of them. Like, this isn't gonna get us anywhere. We're not gonna resolve anything. And Cameron is like, well, you know what? Honestly, I'm going through my own thing right now. I got my own thing going on, and maybe I'm just being a little extra and aggressive, And they were like, well, what's going on? And so he tells them about, Andre breaking up with him, and of course, then the whole energy shifts, and everybody is just all about, oh my gosh, that's terrible. Men ain't shit, that kind of thing. And they make him laugh, and he was like, I really needed this. So they kind of went from talking about Asia to dealing with Cameron, and I think that was a good thing because, again, I feel like they're having this whole conversation about Asia instead of somebody going and talking to Asia. I know they tried in the beginning, but it's been a couple of days now, and maybe somebody could go talk to her, okay? So we get back to the theater, and Asia is getting ready, and the stage manager comes to talk to Asia, and he's like, listen, what's really going on? And Asia says, listen, they don't want me in the dressing room. They say that, I bring negative energy, and they just don't want me there. And so, I found my own space to come to. And, of course, the stage manager was like, yeah, no. Like, really? And Asia was like, yeah, no, really. And Asia had a whole moment. She broke down. She cried, and that kind of thing. She had a whole moment. So then Randy comes in. Now, Randy runs the whole production company. And what happened was the stage manager texted Randy about what was going on. But the problem is, when Asia had the breakdown because Asia found out that Naomi basically not only wasn't worried about her coming back, but ended up spreading her stuff out and taking over Asia's space, and of course, again, that is me. I get it. You did it. And like I said, sometimes I dig my heels in to the point of ridiculousness, right? And then you realize maybe I went too far, and I pushed everybody too far, and now they're not coming back. And I think that was part of the moment that Asia had. And she told the story about when she was a kid, how her parents sent her away, and that she didn't see it coming. She thought she was in a good place with her parents, and then they sort of sent her away, and then she was sort of sitting there like, well, how did we get here, kind of thing. And she said that's sort of how she feels with this situation. Even though she chose to leave, she feels like they sort of put her in a position where she felt like she had to leave, or that they were putting her out. So Randy was like, listen, it's a safety hazard. Like, we can't have you set up your dressing space in that area because that area is set aside for the quick change. It's not meant to be like a permanent position. It's like really a temporary space. And so he asked him, he's like, well, where can we move her? And he was like, well, the room upstairs is empty. The green room, I think, is the exact same room that they just had that whole slumber party in. So it's like a suite, right? And so that's where Asia ends up having her dressing room. They end up moving her up there. And, Randy's like, hopefully it's just temporary. Hopefully, it'll be a week or two, and then we can get everybody back together, and everything will be everything again. And, of course, now the girls are pissed off because they're like, oh, so Asia gets to get a whole room now. Oh, so she gets a whole suite to herself now. Oh, that's what she gets. She gets rewarded for her bad behavior. And I'm like, y'all started the bad behavior. Like, she was fine with that little hole in the wall. Please remember that. She didn't ask to be moved there. She didn't throw a fit to be moved there. She was fine with the little hole in the wall. The little stinky ass hole in the wall, okay? And so now everybody's like, Asia just needs to grow up. Asia just needs to grow up. No. You don't get to disrespect me and piss me off and then tell me how mad I can get. And you don't get to tell me how long I can be mad. Like, you don't get to do that. And so now y'all are acting like she's just being so ridiculous and she needs to grow up and she needs to, no. When she's ready, she will. And if she's never ready, oh well. But I don't think Asia's wrong. Now, I mean, again, do I think that, I mean, obviously at some point they're going to have to talk. Like, they're just going to have to talk, But then something curious happened. And Asia's boyfriend called. And Asia was like, so, how's everything going? I mean, the boyfriend was like, how's everything going? Asia was like, everything's great. And I'm like, and he was like, well, I just don't like to mix my work issues and my private life, and I just don't, those, this is my work and that's my private life, and I just don't like to mix the two. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. First, you're lying to your fiance about your home situation with your family, with your parents. Now, you're not having a dialogue with your fiance about what's going on in your life. Listen, you spend more of your time at work than you do with him. Why wouldn't you want to share what's going on with him, the good, the bad, and the ugly? I bet you didn't have no problem talking to him when you got that residency. I bet you didn't have no problem talking to him when you went on a drag race, or you going on tour. Like, I bet you don't have any problem sharing the good things. Asia, you got to figure out a way to lean on to him on the bad things, because I don't know what kind of relationship y'all even have. I would feel some kind of way if my significant other didn't open up to me about where they spent 8 hours of their day. That doesn't mean I want to hear every drawn out or major thing that you have going on. You have moved dressing rooms. You're not speaking to anybody except for Cameron. I think it's, I just don't understand what kind of, and this is somebody you're talking about marrying and spending the rest of your life with. That is what a life partner is, Asia. And I get it that, you grew up and you've had a lot of trauma in your childhood, and your family is very spread out and fractured, and maybe that's who you've always had to be. Keep things in, deal with them yourself, internalize it. But you got to understand that you have a life partner now. And again, if I'm his fiance and I'm watching this show back, I'm feeling some kind of way. And I'm like, maybe we need some couples counseling before we decide to move any further. And it's not because I don't love you. It's because I need you to understand how to love me in a healthy way. That sounds like an Elder Bar song. Love me in a special way. Anyway, so I don't know, y'all. That's kind of where we are. And we're going to see where we pick up next week. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.